One of the most powerful spiritual principles in the Catholic faith is found in the words of St. Paul. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5-7. This brief verse captures the essence of Christian discipleship. It reminds believers that life with God is not guided primarily by what we see, feel, or fully understand, but by trust in His promises, His presence, and His providence. In everyday life, human beings naturally rely on sight. We trust what is visible, measurable, and predictable. We feel secure when circumstances are clear and controllable. However, the Christian journey often leads through uncertainty. Illness, financial struggles, broken relationships, unanswered prayers, and unexpected loss can obscure our path. In these moments, sight offers little comfort. Faith becomes the light that guides us forward. For Catholics, faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is a theological virtue infused by God at baptism, enabling us to believe in Him and all that He has revealed through sacred scripture and sacred tradition. Faith is rooted in a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, who Himself trusted completely in the Father even, unto suffering and death on the cross. To walk by faith, therefore, is to imitate Christ's own trustful surrender. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches that faith is both a gift and a response. God initiates, we cooperate. This means that walking by faith involves daily choices. We choose to pray even when we feel nothing. We choose to forgive even when wounds remain. We choose hope when circumstances appear hopeless. These acts may seem small, but they are powerful expressions of trust in God's unseen work. Consider Abraham, often called the father of faith. God asked him to leave his homeland without revealing the destination. Later, Abraham was asked to sacrifice his beloved son Isaac, the child of promise. From a purely human perspective, these commands made little sense. Yet Abraham trusted that God was faithful and would somehow fulfill His promise. His story shows that faith is not the absence of struggle. It is perseverance through struggle. Mary, the Mother of God, provides another profound example. At the Annunciation, she received news that would transform her life forever. She did not know how events would unfold, what suffering she would endure, or how the promise would be fulfilled. Still, she responded, "Let it be done to me according to your word." Her entire life became a journey of faith from Bethlehem to Nazareth, from Cana to Calvary, and ultimately to the glory of the resurrection. Walking by faith also means trusting God's timing. Modern culture values speed and instant results, but God often works slowly and quietly. Seeds grow in hidden soil before they break the surface. Likewise, spiritual growth, healing, and transformation often occur beneath the surface of our awareness. Faith allows us to wait patiently, confident that God is at work even when we cannot perceive it. In practical terms, Catholics walk by faith through the sacraments, prayer, and charity. The Eucharist is the supreme example. We see bread and wine, yet believe in the true presence of Christ's body, blood, soul, and divinity. Confession requires faith that God truly forgives sins through the ministry of the priest. Acts of charity express faith that serving others is serving Christ Himself. Each sacramental encounter strengthens our ability to trust beyond what is visible. Moreover, walking by faith does not eliminate fear or doubt. Even the saints experienced darkness and uncertainty. Saint Therese of Lisieux endured spiritual dryness near the end of her life, yet continued to trust in God's mercy. Faith is not a feeling. It is a decision to rely on God despite fluctuating emotions. This verse also carries an eternal perspective. St. Paul wrote in the context of longing for heavenly life. Christians believe that earthly existence is temporary and that true fulfillment lies in union with God. Because of this hope, believers can endure suffering with courage. What is unseen, the glory of heaven, the communion of saints, the promise of resurrection, is more real and lasting than anything visible in this world. Ultimately, walking by faith transforms how we interpret our lives. Problems become opportunities for grace. Delays become invitations to trust. Crosses become pathways to resurrection. When we surrender control and place our future in God's hands, we discover a deeper peace that circumstances cannot destroy. Each day presents new chances to practice this virtue. Simple prayer, "Jesus, I trust in you," can reorient the heart, when anxiety rises. Reading Scripture, attending Mass, and cultivating silence help us listen for God's guidance. Gradually, faith becomes not just an idea, but a way of living. In a world obsessed with certainty and control, the call to walk by faith may seem countercultural. Yet it is precisely this trust that opens the door to divine freedom. When we no longer depend solely on what we see, we become receptive to what God can do. Therefore, the verse "we walk by faith, not by sight" is not merely poetic, it is a roadmap for the Christian life. It invitates Catholics to trust in God's goodness, rely on His promises, and move forward with courage, even when the path ahead is hidden. For those who walk by faith never walk alone. God Himself accompanies them, guiding every step toward the eternal light where faith will finally give way to sight.